Did anybody ever know that NBA 2K22 is larger in size on PS5 than Call of Duty Warzone, which is kind of amazing because everybody complained about how big Warzone is. When I'm saying this, I don't mean big as in player base, I mean big as in storage on a PS5, because NBA 2K22 next gen is like 133 gigs. Warzone's like 125. Make it make sense, but hey, it is what it is. But anyway, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Alvin MB10, aka AMR10, and what I got for you today is some more NBA 2K22 next gen. Now, as you can see by the title, thumbnail, and what's on the screen for you today, what I have for you today happens to be an Isaiah Thomas build. And no, we are not talking Detroit Pistons IT, we are talking Sacramento Kings. Not Los Angeles Lakers, Washington Wizards, Los Angeles Lakers, Cleveland Cavalier, and most famously known Boston Celtic, Isaiah Thomas, aka the 5'9" guard with hella ability and who should technically be in the league, as most people say, but then they forget the fact that defensively he is a major liability. Now, before we get into the build, as per usual, I do gotta say a shout out to my boy Samuel, because again, he did help me in making this build. And honestly, when we started making this build, we were making it to be a really great Isaiah Thomas build, but it turned out to be a quite OD toxic point guard build, because trust me, when you see what this build can do, it can do a lot. Off the base, it comes with 106 badge points before you even start talking about rebirthing the build, meaning once you do, it gets to 119 at max. And then, like, it comes with 30, 30, 31, and 15 on the badge layout. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, feel free to check this video all the way throughout, because trust me, it's a hell of a banger. And don't forget, if you like today's video, do me a favor, go ahead and like the video. And if you have a comment on the build, don't forget to drop a comment. Don't forget to share the video, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Anyway, let's get straight into the video. First things first, as we said, Isaiah Thomas, starting point guard for technically left-handed. We're gonna make this IT build based on him in Boston, because I believe he was at his best in Boston and in Sacramento, because for those of you who were watching the NBA at that time, when his play in Sacramento is a big reason as to why he got the contracts he got, not the contracts, but the play time he got on other teams, because he really showed he could be something else. Because for those of you who don't remember, he was drafted last in his draft, joined the Kings, where they had a bunch of other players. I believe they had Jimmy Fredette drafted the same year, who was the starting point guard, but he showed a lot coming off the bench, wearing that jersey number 22, and it ended up leading him to propel his career. But we will be giving him jersey number 4 just because I feel like he was better in Sacramento, but a lot of people know him a lot as playing a lot better in Boston. Now, height-wise, as we did say, he does come in at 5'9" height. Weight-wise, we decided to put him at 183 pounds, and then we gave him a 6'4" wingspan, even though I believe his actual wingspan is about 6'3", 6'4". So we kept it kind of still. And then body shape-wise, you got to go on the solid side, because even though he is a small guard, he is kind of girthy. Pause. You know what I mean when I say that, right? Pause. Some of y'all gonna be in the comments talking both. But anyway, yeah, getting straight into the build. First things first, we're gonna go with a 90 when it comes to the speed, because we do love to abuse speed on these small point guard builds, just because you can do quite a bit with them, as well as a 90 when it comes to the excel. And then when it comes to the stamina, we're maxing it out at a 99, as well as giving him a 75 vertical. Now, the main reason for this is, yes, I do know if we went to an 85 as well as an 85 driving dunk, we could get small contact dunks to go with pro contact dunks, but we decided to give him pro contact dunks only because if you really look up Isaiah Thomas clips, he's not really putting people on posters like that. More often than not, he's finishing through contact with some acrobatic layups and, yeah, banging it home every here and there when he wants to show off some hops. I did see a few clips of him banging a few windmills, which is quite amazing. But yeah, so as you can guess, driving dunk maxed it out at an 84, allowing us to get the pro contact dunks. And then when it came to the driving layup, we went with a 96. Now, key thing here was I wanted to ensure this build got Hall of Fame Giant Slayer and Acrobat, as well as Slithery Finisher, Teardropper, and Pro Touch. Because again, as I said, when he's finishing through contact, this boy finishes some of the nicest layups I've seen. And then we also gave him an 84 when it came to the close shot, because again, even though he's small in stature, when he is under the basket, he does have a knack for really just putting the ball in the hole. Yeah, you can take that however you want. Anyway, this allows us to get gold, grace under pressure, as well as Hall of Fame fast twitch to pair up with the other Hall of Fame badges we discussed. Now, obviously, you also have the ability of getting gold, limitless takeoff, as well as silver hook specialist, lob city finisher, and posterizer. But that rounds up the finishing side of it. And as you can see, we finished with 30 finishing badges, as I promised you. Now I'm gonna go on to the defensive side of it because, as I said, this is a big reason he's not in the league, because unfortunately he is a liability on defense, not only because of his height, but because of, you know what I'm saying, the defensive ability. He does play with a lot of heart on defense and offense, which shows, but you know, you can only do as much as you can. So we decided to give him a 77 when it came to the perimeter defense, because it does allow you to have a little bit of a defensive ability with silver, ankle braces, clamps, defensive leader, menace, pick dodger, as well as tireless defender. But it doesn't give you that elite level defense that you'd usually get on most guard builds, but it also does allow you to get Hall of Fame hustler and off-ball pest. And when it came to the steal, we decided to go with a 77 as well, because we weren't trying to get gold interceptor. Because as I said, he is not one of the best defenders on the floor, but we did want to give him a fighting chance when playing in this game. So yeah, and then as you can guess with the block, we decided to go with a 56. I personally would have gone with a 54, but obviously, you know, the young Padawan wanted to max it out. So I think we maxed this one out because we had to distribute some attribute points, and if we put them in other places, it would have been a bit too wild, and this thing would not be as close to an Isaiah Thomas build as we want. Now, the next thing to mess with for us, personally speaking, I decided to go playmaking because the shooting. Now, actually, let's go to the shooting first, all right? Shooting-wise, we maxed out his mid-range at a 94 because, again, he was a really good shooter from mid. If you saw him playing, his pull-up game was kind of nice, and yeah, it allows us to get gold blinders, difficult shots, Hall of Fame, fade ace, rhythm shooter, set shooter, slippery off ball, sniper, clutch shooter, volume shooter, lucky number 7, and of course gold green machine and hot zone 100. Now I did leave out Hall of Fame mismatch expert mainly because this was a badge I really wanted to get, because again, for how small he is, Isaiah Thomas, whenever he got switched on to bigs, really exploited it. So I believed he deserved Hall of Fame mismatch expert at the least. 3-ball wise, we decided to give him an 85 because again, he's not one of the greatest shooters in the league. I don't remember what his percentage is, but I remember it wasn't high enough for me to go, damn, this boy can shoot the ball, but it was decent enough for me to go, he deserves a half decent 3-ball. And yes, I do know if we went up to like an 87, there we go, we would have gotten gold Deadeye as well as Hall of Fame corner specialist, but we kept it at an 85 because we wanted to stay as true as possible to his shooting capabilities. And then free throw wise, we put it at an 86. This was partially because we wanted you to have a fighting chance of making your free throws, because a bunch of people do say they want a higher one, but also because we needed to burn some points. And technically speaking, we put points on all the other attributes, and we're only allowed to put them on free throw, and somehow it let us get that up to an 86. Now as you can see, this does allow you to finish with 30 shooting badges. Only thing here that's missing is gold Deadeye, but with everything you do have, trust me, you can be a walking bucket, which is what we expect you to be with this build because of how much of a defensive liability you are. Now, playmaking wise, pass accuracy, we only went with an 80 because again, he's not known as the guy to spread the floor and just dime the ball around. If you remember from his play style, the main thing he is a walking bucket with a few dimes here and there. And then when it came to the ball handling, we decided to give him a 94. This was mainly because, you know what I'm saying, the boy wanted to get gold hyperdrive, Hall of Fame hyperdrive, quick chain, tight handle, stop and go, ankle braces, break starter if you really want to dime the ball like that, gold unpluckable, Hall of Fame triple threat juke, Hall of Fame glue hands, and of course handle for days. And when it came to the speed with ball, this one was more to do with Samuel's belief over me. Personally speaking, I rock with it, but we decided to go with a 92 when it comes to the speed with ball because it does allow you to get a grand, you know what I'm saying, that Hall of Fame quick first step, which again, Isaiah Thomas did have in his bag. Now, obviously, if we did remove the free throw all the way down to something like a 59, we could have gone +1 on the 3-ball, which would have allowed us to get 31 shooting badges and the ability of saying that this build can get 120 total badge points on it. But we elected not to because, yeah, you know what I'm saying, we're stupid. But yeah, now as you can see, as I promised you, you finished with 30 finishing, 30 shooting, 31 playmaking, and 15 defensive badge points on this build, giving you a grand total of 106 total badge points before you rebirth it and get a total of 119 badge points. Now, if that ain't spectacular, I don't know what is. But remember, it is a defensive liability, so the key thing on this build is you have to be prepared to play offense and be elite at it, which with the abilities, badge points, attributes you have, you're certain for glory. Now, takeover wise, very first one, I personally would go something with something like easy blow-bys. The main reason I think of this is because Isaiah Thomas used to have this little size up he used to do where he'd look at a defender, get 1 foot up, and as soon as he notices you're a little bit heavy on one side, he just goes by. I'll probably add some of the clips of the stuff I'm talking about in this video, and if I did, just know this video ain't monetized because YouTube is gonna hit me with a copyright claim, but hey, it is what it is. And then for the secondary takeover, I'd probably go with something along the lines of ankle breaking shots or maybe pull-up precision. Basically any of the shooting, not the shooting, but any of the shot creating bad takeovers that you see here. But I'm gonna probably go with, what would I go with? I'm gonna go with ankle breaking shots because again, I did say he's a bit of a bucket coming off a dribble, But actually, no. I'm gonna go with pull-up precision because, as I said, he likes to break people down and then he pulls up into a nice little smooth jumper. So yeah, we went with easy blow-bys and pull-up precision. Now what 2K says we have happened to build here happens to be a offensive threat, the likes of Mark Price, Kyle Lowry, Chris Paul. Mark Price and Chris. Okay, let me be dead serious. I never watched Mark Price. Kyle Lowry is not an offensive threat. He is somewhat of a bucket, but he's not an offensive threat. Chris Paul, I can see it because that man is something spectacular. But hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, which if you did, don't forget to do me a favor. Go ahead and drop a like on the video. If you're new to the channel and you ain't done see it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as turning post notifications on. Don't forget to hit me up in the comments because obviously I'm going to be talking about something. But yeah, this has been your boy Alvin MB10, aka Aaron Mark 10. We are less than a week away from 2K23. I'll catch you in a bit. Deuces.